Hey there, everyone. If you are new to my Instagram or you're watching this on YouTube, make sure that you comment, of course, but click the bell if you're on YouTube and give me some thumbs up that you're really liking this video. But today we're here to talk about how to get out of debt. So I want to give you a little backstory so you can understand where I'm coming from. In 2005, when we got married, my husband, 3 days after we got married, was informed that his job was going to be cut and he was no longer going to have that job. And so he worked the summer and then job was over. 9 months of unemployment. I took on extra shifts at my full-time job and we did our best to meet our needs. But we also had to move. So rent increased and we had an 15-month-old son at the time that we had to feed and clothe, and we had to take care of ourselves, right? So we chose at that time to put those things on credit cards because we just didn't have enough money to pay all of our bills and to meet our needs. And we were getting by. He got a job later in 2006, and then of course we had the economic crash, so that didn't help any, or the recession. And then I made a bad choice in 2009 to leave my full-time job and take on a full-time retail job, which turned out to be a bad thing because it was not full-time. And I remember sitting on my couch in December 2009, bawling my eyes out because I couldn't pay my bills. I couldn't pay my car payment, rent was due, all the things, and it was very, very, very stressful for me. I still get emotional thinking about it today, and I looked at my husband and I said, I don't know how to do this. You need to do it for me. And he said, you got into this mess, so you need to get out. That's not to say that this isn't our mess, but that part was mine. I made a decision and it was a bad one. I went back to, working in the healthcare field and eventually went back to school, got my degree, got a better paying job. And in the last 7 years, we have been able to dig ourselves out of that hole. We started out with between $50,000 and $75,000 worth of debt, more like $50,000. And we're definitely getting down there, but it's not an easy road. And there are things that I've learned along the way that I wish I would have known before all of this happened, but even when this did happen, so I could help myself be better and help everyone else be better. And I'm, teaching these principles to my son. I didn't know about Dave Ramsey until about 2008. And then I devoured a lot of his material along with his daughters, watched podcasts, all those things. But I really struggled with not being able to live a life while working the debt snowball. And in 2012, I really started to focus on the debt snowball. And that's really been beneficial to me. But how can you get out of debt? How can you move in the right direction? So step one, start a budget. Do you create a budget? Do you even know how to create a budget? If you don't know how to create a budget, how are you going to be able to do it? So each month you want to sit down and write out your income for the month, and you want to write down all of your expenses. Every expense from, rent, mortgage, utilities, all the things, write it down, including credit cards. And then you are going to see where your money is going. So that's step one, to budget. Step two, how much debt do you have? Do you know your total amount of debt? If you don't know that, how can you work on paying it off and knowing where you were and where you need to be? So I challenge you to sit down and write down each expense you have, your mortgage, your car payments, your credit cards, and find out what you owe, student loans. And at the end, that's how much your debt is collectively. And you can do it for yourself. You can do it for yourself and a partner. If you have a partner and you don't share finances, write it down for yourself. You can do this all by yourself. I did. I totally did. Step three, savings and investments and the living life. We all forget that we need to save for our future. And if anything 2020 has taught us is that we need to be financially prepared. And in Dave Ramsey's model, he says $1,000 in your emergency fund, which I think is a really great place to launch from. But take it a step further. Most expenses are more than $1,000. So setting aside $3,000 would be highly recommended in an emergency fund. So that way, if something does happen, you can pay for it and you're not stealing from anywhere else to get that taken care of, and you're not falling behind in any of your other bills. Also, living life. A lot of times we hear, gazelle intensity, focus on this, don't spend any extra, like nothing. But let's face it, we're human beings, we want to enjoy life. And there's a lot of things that we can do that are free, but it may still cost us gas, or maybe we want to have a nice meal out. So making sure that you can live your life how you want to is important as well. In my Balanced and Successful Working Moms group, which isn't just for moms, we are going to be deep diving into this in the month of March and working on, budgeting and debt consolidation and all of those things to move us forward, along with a couple other different challenges. But I think if we really take a look at our finances, they reflect on our health and wellness. And when I'm not focused on my finances in a positive aspect, I'm not always focused on my health and wellness. They kind of all correlate. And then your family feels it and all the things that trickle from there. But this video is strictly about how to budget. So 1, create a budget. I'm getting ahead of myself. The video is about how to get out of debt. 1, create a budget. 2, how much debt do you have? And 3, savings and investment and living life, how to do that. So if you want to learn more, join us over on my Facebook group, Balanced and Successful Working Moms. I would love to see you over there. Thanks so much for stopping by, and you all have a great day. Bye-bye.